Red One, Convict, Gaga, Cherry Cherry Boom Boom. Now that I got all the production tags for our podcast out of the way, we are ready to start. Would you like to come up with your own production tag for yourself, David?
Made in China.
You can't do that. That's actually one of Dr. Luke's alter egos.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I take that. No, I take that.
No, I guess
you know what?
It has to stick now, unfortunately.
No, I don't. Okay, I have a better one. Made in Armenia.
That is better. Shout out Armenia.
Armenia mentioned.
Shout out Jennifer. Oh
yeah? Shout out Wisconsin. Boom.
Uncultured Pop Culture Podcast. I'm your co-host, Brandon, and with me, as always, is your other co-host,
David.
We're back.
I know I said that so flat.
Yeah, that's fine. It sounds like you're very sad, but it's okay because we're back and we're better than ever, and we have to talk about Lady Gaga, and we have to talk about High School Musical, and I'm going to spoil the surprise right now. David's never seen High School Musical before, so this is going to be a lot of fun, this episode. I think it's more crazy that I've seen High School Musical and you haven't. Maybe that's the most crazy of any of these.
I don't know. I feel like it kind of tracks. We were not a Disney Channel family.
I was, very much so.
You watched like Raven and all that kind of stuff?
Actually, that was before my time, but yeah.
Oh.
But before we get into all of that, we have to talk about what we watched and listened to last week. David, what was it that you watched in this past week?
For those of you who don't know, we are recording this the week before, I guess, the week of the Oscars. The Oscars are this Sunday.
I completely forgot about that, genuinely.
That's right. I almost did too. I would have forgotten if I wasn't going to a party with friend of the podcast, Grace.
Shout out.
And I was like, I need to actually prepare for this because I still have not seen a lot of the movies. So Jennifer and I watched If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Oh.
And it stars... Oh God, what's her name?
I can't help you with this one. I genuinely have no idea who any of the people are in these movies.
He's
looking it up right now.
I'd kick you.
This is a look behind the podcast right now.
Yes. Rose Byrne.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, so couldn't help you.
Conan O'Brien is also in this movie.
Why? What?
He just was in it.
Is he playing himself or is he a person?
No.
Oh.
He plays a supporting character, a therapist.
Wow. Okay.
And I gotta say, this is the type of movie where like 20 minutes into it, you're like, wow, this is genuinely a fantastic movie. And I don't like, I want it to end right now because it's so heavy and like, it's so hard to watch. It's that type of movie. It's a very good movie. And she is amazing in it. Now, I love Jessie Buckley. I think she's great in Hamnet. But honestly, if we were going by who I think should win, it should be Rose Byrne.
Oh, wow.
Hands down. This is like the best performance of the year, honestly. It's a 4 out of 5. I think like I'd be scared of going higher just because of how heavy the film is, but it is really good. And also, shout out Conan O'Brien. He's a good actor, at least in this. And another reason why I bring up this movie is because Jennifer and I will be dressing up as Rose Byrne and Conan O'Brien for this movie for the Oscars party that we're attending.
Very nice.
With friend of the podcast, Grace.
Are you dyeing your hair red?
Okay, we literally talked about this.
Oh my God.
I thought about getting a wig.
You should.
So I Googled Conan O'Brien wigs. They don't sell them anywhere. I couldn't find any Conan O'Brien wigs.
Damn.
So then we discussed like dyeing hair. We discussed just, I don't know, putting like wool on my head. But eventually we decided to just like gel up my hair to make it like, you know, give me the distinct like big thing he has on his head. And then just doing the rest of it and keeping my natural hair color. So we're getting close.
I think you should dye it at home in your bathroom and see how that goes. Just for fun.
Yeah, I think that's going to go great. I'm going to dye it like white or something.
That'd actually be pretty sick. If you bleached your hair.
That would be.
I think that'd look pretty cool.
That would be funny.
The one problem with bleach though is it gets pretty yellow after a while if you don't like treat it with anything after that. So I don't know. David with yellow hair could be pretty cool. That could be a vibe.
I'd be like the mascot of something, I feel like, at that point. But anyways, I'm going to throw it over to you now. because I got to ask you, what have you been listening to for the past week or however long?
Well, as promised, last week was Bruno Mars. This week is Harry Styles.
That's right.
Listen to this album this morning. We're recording a little bit early this week. And guys, I got to tell you, it's mid. It's fine. It's there's really not much I can say about it. Much like the Bruno Mars album, it's just like it's there. It exists. It's not super interesting. However,
yes,
I will say this production is probably the best that Harry Styles has had of any of his albums. However, the songwriting is not good, which is kind of that's always the problem with Harry Styles. He also doesn't have Amy Allen working on this album anymore, which sucks because I feel like looking back, she's probably the reason that Harry's House kind of was such a big success. This album also, like I said about Bruno Mars album, now the numbers are out. Bruno Mars album turned out that it actually is being streamed like a fair amount and it's number one in the country. But these numbers are down significantly from like what a number one in the country album would be being streamed in a week from like 5 years ago. So I'm a little concerned about that once again, music is becoming this kind of passive thing that people aren't really paying attention to and they're just putting on in the background. That's kind of why AI music is taking off so much too, which sucks.
Don't even get me started on that. That's interesting though. I do want to listen, especially because I know some people at work are Harry Styles fans, so I'd want to hear what they think too. So I will probably give this a listen.
I can't say it's entirely worth your time. If you liked Aperture, you'll probably like this, but I feel like most of these songs are like, if I wanted to hear them, I would just listen to artists that have done this style better. Like, I don't know. Another problem that I've noticed with Harry Styles music, and other people have brought this up, like I'm not the first one to acknowledge this, but I feel like his lyrics have this like pseudo personal quality about them where it's really not that personal and they're not that deep, but everybody kind of thinks that they are. And I don't know if he kind of thinks they are too. Like, I feel like he's not very like introspective despite trying to present himself that way. So I don't know. This album's like not bad. I rated it a 2.5. I'm never listening to it again, but it's like, I don't know. It's not super exciting. And this is another one where it's like, I won't be surprised if this is the number one album in the country, but like we've come out of the weekend with some of these songs having like 8 or 9 million streams, which is kind of crazy because back in the day it would be like 20 to 25 million in over just the weekend. So that's a little concerning, but at the same time, maybe people are kind of like, yeah, we heard Aperture and we don't need to hear any more of this sound because it is kind of just the same. So yeah, I don't know. Not a fan. But it wasn't as bad as, I mean, I rated Bruno Mars's album a 2. It was shorter, but it felt longer. I'll tell you that too.
That's not a good sign.
Just waiting until somebody drops something that changes the game, a la Lady Gaga, which I think it's time to get into. Because this is The Fame, the debut album by Lady Gaga. It was released August 19th, 2008 by Streamline Records, Con Live Distribution, Cherry Tree Records, and Interscope. It was preceded by Just Dance in April of 2008, and 4 additional singles followed the album's release: Poker Face, AA, Nothing Else I Can Say, Love Game, and Paparazzi. Obviously, you know who Lady Gaga is, but I want to ask you, what have you heard by her before?
Well, I mean, I've obviously heard a lot of the big hits, stuff like Just Dance. I know quite a few of her songs, in large part because Jennifer is a big fan, and she has introduced me to like a lot of songs that she has known that I would like. A lot of those songs are from The Fame Monster or Born This Way, so those are kind of the 2 albums that I know the most. Even though, again, like I didn't listen to the albums in full, I just know a lot of the songs from those. I was going into this positively, although the fact that like my favorite stuff is from The Fame Monster and Born This Way made me wonder if I would like this less.
It is older too, which, you know, that could also be a problem.
That's a good point.
So Lady Gaga is one of those larger than life artists that we've covered. And honestly, I don't think I can really offer anything about her life that you can't find somewhere else. Her real name is Stephanie. She's of Italian descent, and she was born and raised on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Those are kind of the big things that are really important. If you want to learn more about her, there are many books and articles written about her because she is kind of one of the biggest artists in the history of pop music. So shout out to her. I want to ask you, have you heard any part of this album before? You kind of answered that. I assume the singles,
Mainly is the singles. Those are the songs that I knew going into this. I'm sure that I've heard other songs from this album, but I would not have remembered.
I mean, you talked about your expectations going in. Did you have a score in mind before you started listening to this album?
I didn't have a score. I had a feeling though, like I don't know, I felt like it would be like pretty positive to quite positive. That's kind of the way I had it in my brain, but I didn't have a score at all, honestly.
So this is obviously a pop album. Specifically, it's post-teen pop, but we will talk about that genre in just a second, because I got to tell you that this album was received positively by critics. It has a 71 out of 100 on Metacritic, and it got a perfect 5 from AllMusic. Some critics felt like it wasn't very well written, though, but noted, correctly, may I add, that it reintroduced dance music to pop audiences. And the general public was actually ready for it, which is why this album, and specifically its run of singles, pretty much set the tone for what pop music would sound like for the next 6 or so years. Essentially, Lady Gaga made the Fame so Kesha could make Animal, which is an album that we covered earlier on this podcast.
That's wild.
The album peaked at number 1 in Canada, Germany, Ireland, Poland, and the UK, just to name a few. However, never in the US on the Billboard 200. It instead peaked at number 2. And still, it is the 12th biggest album of all time on the Billboard 200.
That's wild.
It also spent a total of 193 weeks atop the Dance and Electronic Albums chart. The album won Best Electronic and Dance Album at the 52nd Grammys. It helped start a genre that Wikipedia and some dumbasses on TikTok call recession pop, but I will refer to it by its Glenn McDonald given name, post-teen pop. Recession pop kind of gained a lot of, I don't know, sway on TikTok because people were like, it was around the 2008 recession, which is true, but also it came after teen pop, which was the sound of the 2000s, therefore post-teen pop. And that name has been used by Glenn McDonald, who was Spotify's data or like music alchemist, something like that. I don't know what his term, like his title was. And he kind of like set the tone for a lot of how we discuss music in like a streaming age and like what these different micro genres are. So I'm going to go with his term. And yeah, recession pop or whatever. Like people are using it to talk about pop music now too, because we're like genuinely in a recession right now. But pop music now sounds like shit, and I'm sorry, but like it's not the same.
I don't know. I feel like the term recession pop brings to mind a different sound than what that era of pop actually sounds like, at least for me. It makes me think of music that would be more like toned down. Like that's what it brings to me.
I feel like part of that is because the term is stupid, and it's like,
well, yeah,
it's technically like post-recession pop because it's like,
true.
We want to dance at the club after we just lost all of our money.
Yeah.
It's not like it was a well-named like genre because it wasn't named by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, and I'll complain about it throughout this episode probably. But finally, yes,
I'm ready for it.
This album did kind of change my life. I will spare you and the audience my spiel about how much I love pop music. I've given it plenty of times on here, and especially this era of pop music. But this album kicked off one of the greatest renaissance periods in music, not only in pop, but also in EDM, because general audiences were able to understand it. The release of Just Dance is genuinely the separation between 2000s pop music and 2010s pop music. And I'm not alone in this identification, although I would like to pat myself on the back for coming to this conclusion independently of what others have said. And I want to read a full paragraph from Wikipedia because it has 2 very important points in it. So this is the paragraph. Radio personality Zane Lowe and record producer DJ Calvin Harris addressed the impact of this album on a Beats One radio interview. Lowe stated, Mike Skinner told me this because we were having a debate about Lady Gaga, and he was like, one thing you got to remember about Lady Gaga, she put Four on the Floor back on American radio, and that up until that moment, there was nothing resembling Four on the Floor in pop music. Harris added, 100%. They even had a hip-hop version of Poker Face for radio, and it was the 441 that hit, and it just went ridiculous. In 2020, Stephen Daw from Billboard stated that the Fame not only changed the course of Gaga's career, but corrected the course of modern pop music for generations to come. So that's that paragraph.
Wow.
Now, these are my 2 things from it. Calvin Harris mentioned a hip-hop remix of Poker Face, which was potentially released on some radio stations, but I cannot verify this. What I do know is that Just Dance had a hip hop remix as well with Cardinal Offishall. That one is actually on Spotify if you want to check it out. And similarly, the original was the version that took off, not the rap version of it. The other thing that I think is super important is the wording of that last quote from Stephen Daw. It corrected the course of modern pop music. This is ultimately what pop music is and what it's supposed to be about and what it was lacking beforehand. And honestly, is lacking now. This is why I hate the term recession pop as well being applied to now, because it's very different. The point of pop music is it has a reputation for being overly commercial, but what everyone's forgetting is that the songs need to be good as well to be remembered. The production here was unique for its time. The melodies were catchy and easy to sing along to after only hearing a few times. And most importantly, the lyrics were not crazy. They were not inaccessible and overwritten, which is kind of what everyone else is trying to do now. That's kind of why pop music isn't hitting the same as it was during this time. It was much more simplified back then. Lady Gaga and her co-writers correctly identified how to make a pop song, and were so good at it that everyone else copied them. So labels, if you're listening, first off, give me a job. Second off, listen to when pop music was good, and please try to get back to that, because we as a society are suffering because we don't have these big anthems that are well written. We just have kind of
meh.
Exactly. It's just songs that are all about the lyrics and nothing else. And the lyrics are not the important part of pop music, unfortunately. Max Martin understood that. That's why he has whatever 28 number ones, some ungodly number. You know, and that's something that we will kind of talk about, I feel like, throughout this album, and something you can see when I assume you listened to this album before listening to this podcast. Audience, you better have. The lyrics are not like crazy here. They're not like revolutionary or anything, but they serve a purpose, and they're delivering kind of the message of the song, which is just one thing. We're not trying to cram in way too much on these songs, you know, and I feel like that's what we're missing. Anyway. The album was executive produced by Vincent Herbert, the founder of Streamline Records, co-executive produced by Rob Fusari and Red One. Its A&Rs were all of the aforementioned, as well as Martin Kirschenbaum. It was mixed by Robert Orton, who's a connection to the Vroom Vroom EP. He mixed one song on there.
Oh.
Kind of a weird connection. And it was mastered by Gene Grimaldi. And now I got to tell you your predictions. Your favorite will be either Poker Face or Paparazzi. And your least favorite will be Starstruck.
Ooh.
And I wrote down, you will rate this album a 3.5. I didn't change it. I have been struggling because I feel like this album could be a 4, depending on how much you like the singles. Because I feel like, not to get ahead of ourselves, I feel like there's some Maroon 5 effect here, where the first half of the album is a lot stronger than the latter half of the album.
I do agree with that.
But we'll get into it. So as of right now, it's a 3.5, but I also was very much struggling with maybe this is a 4. So I might, you know what? I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to change it. This is going to be a 4.
We'll see.
And we got to start with track number 1, Just Dance, featuring Colby O'Donis. Written by Akon, Lady Gaga, and Red One. Produced by Red One. Background vocals from Akon. This was released April 8th, 2008, as the lead single, and it impacted contemporary hit radio on September 16th, 2008, after the album came out, interestingly. It peaked at number 1 in a ton of countries, including the US, where it's certified 11 times platinum.
Jesus Christ, that's
It was
wild.
the number 3 song of 2009 in both the UK and the US, as well as the 35th biggest song of the 2000s decade in the US. And it is number 196 all time in the history of the Billboard Hot 100.
That's genuinely wild.
Oh yeah,
Genuinely.
it's crazy. I mean, this was like when I said that, there's a time like pre and post Just Dance, like
Right.
Genuinely, this song like did change everything. I have a lot of notes here. This song has both a pseudo rap verse by Colby O'Donis and a bridge by Gaga herself, which is kind of unheard of. It's very clearly a symptom of it being the first song in the post-teen pop genre, because we hadn't figured out like what the structure should be yet. This song was written for the Pussycat Dolls, which I did not know until researching for this, which I find to be crazy because I don't think they ever could have done this song. Like, this is very much a Lady Gaga song, and it always had to be.
I mean, it's so distinctly her style. Like, how can it be for anyone else but her?
Exactly. And it's not like the Pussycat Dolls were ever good. Ooh.
I don't even know who that
Bomb
is.
dropped.
So I can't even weigh in.
Nicole Scherzinger. You probably don't even know who that is. She's the main one. Yeah, okay. Well, You don't need to know. That's my hot take. Anyway, I do kind of hate 2000s pop music, though, like pre-Just Dance. There's not a lot from like 9/11 to 2008. April 8th, 2008. There's not a lot in between there. That's worth remembering. Anyway, I think this is a perfect song to transition from 2000s pop to 2010s pop. And it was a sleeper hit. It took 5 months to reach number 1.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
This is a quote from Lady Gaga. "That record saved my life. I was in such a dark space in New York. I was so depressed, always in a bar. I got on a plane to LA to do my music and was given one shot to write the song that would change my life. And I did. I never went back. I left behind my boyfriend, my apartment. I still haven't been back. My mother went in and cleared it for me."
Wow.
Kind of an interesting quote, I think. I believe she has been back to New York since delivering this quote, though, I would say.
Probably.
She said that she wrote this song in 10 minutes, which I 100% believe because the best pop songs are the easiest ones to write.
Yeah.
And finally, Akon was originally supposed to be the feature in this song and still has backing vocals throughout it. His version was sent to radio for a while until Interscope requested that his verse be taken off, and it was replaced with an identical verse sung by Colby O'Donis, who was Akon's protege at the time. Colby O'Donis released one album, and I believe he was shelved by his record label after that, and this remains what he's best known for. So shout out to him. I really don't know where he's at right now, but he will be remembered for being the feature on the song that pretty much changed pop music.
Right.
I really like this song. However, I don't think it's as good as some other songs on here, and I don't think it's the best Lady Gaga single from this album, but we'll get into that in a little bit. This one is a 3.5 for me.
I mean, this one is a classic, obviously. It's also so distinctly 2010s, even though it came out prior to the 2010s, but that's because it literally made the sound of the 2010s.
Yep.
So yeah, it's kind of wild listening to this, thinking of that. I also will say I forgot that this song has a verse from, as you mentioned, another performer or another artist. I was not expecting that. For some reason, I've heard this song and I never realized that it's like that.
I will tell you that there are multiple versions of this that have played on the radio. Some versions take out Colby O'Donis's verse. Some versions take out Lady Gaga's bridge to shorten the song so you can play more music or more commercials if you're a Live Nation station, or well, iHeartRadio now it's called. But yeah, so there is definitely a possibility that you had never heard the Colby O'Donis verse, because I'm pretty sure the pop radio stations in LA are iHeartRadio, where they're not here.
That makes sense.
But I will also talk about that with Paparazzi, because Paparazzi has a bridge that I've never heard in my life. I mean, I definitely have heard it because I've listened to this album, but I was like, I don't remember this being here because it didn't play on the radio. So that definitely could be like a real thing that you just never heard this verse before.
That's a good point. I honestly am kind of struggling. I do think that this song does go on for a little bit too long.
It is long. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also so good. I was kind of stuck between a 3.5 and a 4, honestly.
That's what I thought you would say.
Yeah, I have trouble. I could see a lot of songs on here, by the way, going up. But ultimately, I think I am going to give it a 4.
Oh, okay.
Just because of its impact, even though it's a lower 4. And I think the other 4s that I give out are stronger.
Yes, this is a high 3.5 for me, by the way.
Yes. I think this is just so influential. It just makes you respect it more somehow.
True. Yeah. It is weird listening to this song because it's like, wow, it does sound like the 2010s, but also at the same time, like we just got better at making 2010s like post-teen pop, you know? So it's kind of strange to hear it and be like, yeah, I guess like there are things here that would have been changed if it came out like 3 years later, you know?
Yeah.
And also it's not 4 on the Floor, which I always kind of thought it was, but it isn't. It's more of like a groovy beat than a 4 on the Floor, which it comes up later in Poker Face and Love Game specifically. And we're going to talk about one of those right now. Track number 2, Love Game, written by Lady Gaga and Red One, produced by Red One. This was released March 23rd, 2009 as the 4th single of the album. It impacted radio in the US on May 12th, 2009 and ended up peaking at number 5 on the Hot 100. I remember that it was much more rare to hear this song on the radio, and it was only certified 3 times platinum in the US. Wow, what a failure. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. David, did you get your ass squeezed by Sexy Cupid? I've always loved that line because what the hell? Why
Every
not?
night.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Sure. The structure of the song is very unique because it essentially has 3 hooks with a refrain, a pre-chorus that's also an intro, and a chorus, which are all like very memorable.
Crazy second song to have in your track list.
Very much, yeah. And plus, I should say, I can't believe I didn't say this, Just Dance, the only way to open this album, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's the song that like
100%.
introduced her as an artist, and it's like, yeah, I'm here, and you're going to pay attention to me. I feel like it's the perfect opener.
I completely agree with that. It has to be that.
I do find Love Game interesting as a case study between early post-teen pop and the later iterations of the genre. There's a lot of kind of dead space in this song. These transition moments that last a lot longer than they would later as the genre evolved, and especially now as we've like continued making pop music and it's gotten shorter and shorter. Like this, a lot of these songs are on the longer side for like a radio pop song, because now you're looking under 3 minutes for a lot of like hits on the radio, which sucks because I do like a good 3.5 minute long song. I feel like that's kind of perfect for pop music, and Gaga delivers on a lot of these. I got to tell you, I feel like this song has never been as good as Just Dance or, to spoil it, Poker Face, but it is better than I remember. I gave this one a 3.5. This one is like an actual 3.5, where Just Dance is more like a 3.75. So they have the same score, but I would much rather listen to Just Dance than this song. Not to say this is a bad song, because I do like it.
I think this is a step up from Just Dance for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It feels quite different and yet still cohesive with the style of the first song, which I like.
I agree.
And ultimately, it's just so fun and absolutely out there. I also want to say, listening to this made me realize just how much of a distinct and honestly like awesome singing style Lady Gaga has.
Mm-hmm.
That I think kind of takes her stuff or her work to a different level. I don't think most people could pull off the songs that she performs, because I don't know, she just adds something with her voice that I never really realized before.
No, absolutely. Yeah. It's almost theatrical kind of too.
Literally.
Like she's putting on these different voices as she's singing, but it works so well, which she is like a performer to me more than anything else, which I know I wrote down sometime in my notes.
I completely agree. This for me is like a solid 4. Like it's above Just Dance. It's solidly a 4. Although I will say there are better songs on the album. Hint, hint.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Track number 3, Paparazzi, written by Lady Gaga and Rob Fusari, produced by Rob Fusari with additional production by Lady Gaga. This is the 5th and final single from the album. It was released July 6th, 2009. It impacted American radio on September 8th, 2009. It peaked at number 6 on the Hot 100 and is certified 5 times platinum. It finished 2009 as the number 53 song of the year and the number 64 song of 2010 as well. So both years, which is pretty crazy. And I said right away, I don't believe the bridge of this song has ever played on the radio, and it caught me off guard. I've listened to this album in full many times in my life. I think most recently before doing this podcast would have been the spring of 2023, right when I moved out to LA. I listened to this album quite a few times, and there's one song that I listen to a lot, which I will talk about later when we get to it. But I don't remember this bridge existing, and I can't say that I like it particularly. Like I feel like the radio edit is like, I don't know, it takes out the bridge, and that's fine with me.
I kind of want to listen to the radio edit to see the big difference. Because to me, like I've heard the song before, but I didn't really notice a big difference. I feel like I didn't notice the fact that the bridge maybe wasn't in there before, or in the versions that I've listened to before.
I will say that I kind of remember this song being better when I was younger. I feel like it's not as interesting as I thought it was. I think the chorus is great. The writing throughout the song is good, but it's just missing that magical touch. And I do think it's kind of obvious that it's not produced by Red One. And I think that might be the missing link, where like Red One's just got a little bit extra like sauce on its production.
Right.
I'm going to give it a 3 because I think I could give it a 3.5 on nostalgia alone, but I would probably give it a 2.5 if I heard it now, because you know how I feel about key changes in songs. I'm going to take this time to say that much like Kesha's album, there are 3 styles present on this album. There's the revolutionary post-teen pop sound, which is songs like Just Dance and Poker Face. There's the 2000s teen pop sound, which we will get to in a few songs. And then there's the hybrid between the two, which is where I feel like a lot of Rob Fusari's production is. And I feel like this song kind of fits in there, where it's like not fully like a dance clubby song, but it's also not fully like a teen pop song where it's like, this sounds like it's from like 2005 or 6. Like this song sounds like it's kind of in between the two, teen pop and post-teen pop, which like ironically started with this album. So it's like already kind of dated when it comes out, even though it isn't, because nobody's heard post-teen pop, but it's like a transitional period. And I feel like I never really knew that about this song until I was listening to it this time. So yeah, this is a 3. I feel like it's lyrically one of the best on here, but the production just doesn't fully come together for me. And I also wonder if it's partly the key change, because, you know.
This song, for me, is a perfect 5.
Is this your favorite?
This is my favorite song in the whole album.
Let's go. I correctly predicted it, because when I heard this, I was like, I feel like this is going to be the one. Yep. And then I put in Poker Face because I was like, well, also that song's amazing. So
yeah, I mean, that is another one that I also really love, but there's just something about this song. I heard, like, I listened to this when I was listening through the album, and obviously I listened to it once because then I went on to the next song, and I was on set, and when we were supposed to be quiet because we're shooting stuff, I was just humming this song to myself. And I had to remind myself multiple times to not just start singing it. And then I just started listening to it like whenever I could, when we were shooting. That's how good this is. I don't have anything else to say aside from the fact that this is just a banger. It's kind of wild to me how strong this album is so far. Great chorus, probably one of the best choruses in this whole album. For me, at least. I
agree. I think it is a great chorus. Yeah. I don't know. I wanted to like this one more, and I feel like I used to like it more.
Yeah.
But
hey, maybe if you listen to it like 5 bajillion times like I did, it'll grow on you. I don't know.
There is a chance. Yeah.
I'm very intrigued by what your favorite song is, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of generational run, track number 4, Poker Face. Written by Lady Gaga and Red One, produced by Red One. It samples Ma Baker by Boney M. This is the ma.
Which is actually a song that I love too.
Damn, I didn't really know it.
It's a
I
song
don't know it like Boney M at all. So
they did the Daddy Cool
terrible
song,
name, I think.
Which I don't know if you know that song.
I definitely have heard. I know I've heard their music before. I just like don't know much about them. They're kind of a blind spot. This song was released September 23rd, 2008 as the second single, and it impacted radio January 27th, 2009, which is kind of late actually, like a lot of these. But you know, time used to move slower back in the day, back in my day. Much like Just Dance, it was a huge success, becoming one of the highest selling singles ever. It peaked at number 1 in the US and genuinely almost everywhere in the world. Like I could read almost any country that has a chart and it was number 1 there.
Yeah.
And it's also certified diamond in the US.
Yeah, see that.
It was the number 2 song of 2009 in the US, and it was the number 1 song of 2009 in the UK. And it also won Best Dance Recording at the Grammys, which is crazy because dance music, like this is pop, but people weren't ready for it. You know, they weren't ready for it to be pop.
It's very true.
Even more than Just Dance, I think this song changed everything. This is a 4 on the floor beat. It has a call and response chorus. It immediately has a hook right when it starts with ma. And it is catchy as hell. This is pop royalty right here. This song, which I did not know, is about being bisexual, which is kind of crazy. She said it was about being with a man, but wishing it was a woman. So
that's where the poker face comes in.
Exactly. That's why he can't read her poker face, because she wishes that she was with a woman. So shout out women.
That's right. Shout out bisexual women.
Exactly. Do you know the fun fact about the post chorus in this song?
No, I have no idea.
Poker face, fuck her face.
Oh.
It played on the radio every year. Nobody ever knew that until like 2021, and then Gaga confirmed it. And she said that Kiss FM in Los Angeles was the only station that correctly censored that, because everybody thought she was just saying poker face again.
That makes me like it even more.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. And it seems like I'm bringing this up every single episode in season 2, but I'm going to bring it up again. I do think this is an example of a song that suffers from being the first to do something. It kind of revolutionized the return of Four on the Floor and club music to pop radio, and I think we only got better at this type of song. That is to say, it is still incredible, and I give this a 4 because it still holds up in very many ways.
I mean, yeah, it's as popular as it is for a reason. I will say I prefer the verses to the choruses in this song. I feel like
That's
they're
fair.
stronger to
The
me.
verses are very good.
They are very, very good. I feel like it's ironic because I feel like typically with her stuff, the choruses are my favorite part. So the fact that it's kind of switched here is interesting to me. I will say I do feel like I kind of agree with what you mentioned because I think a part of it is they were the first songs to do this and it kind of got refined the more people wrote songs in this style. But then I also think that like these songs just got played so much that maybe they're just not as fresh. I think that's a big reason why, for instance, like Just Dance and Poker Face are not my highest rated songs on the album. Even though I guess Paparazzi was also super popular, but I feel like I've heard that a lot less.
I agree. Yeah, Just Dance and Poker Face are the two like huge ones from this album.
So yeah, there we go. This is a 4. Again, really strong. We're just keeping the generational run alive. This is genuinely wild how strong like the first half of this album is. Not to spoil things for later.
I mean, yeah, I agree. But we got another single to talk about here. That's
right.
AA, Nothing Else I Can Say, written by Cherry Cherry Boom Boom and Lady Gaga. And it's produced by Cherry Cherry Boom Boom. That is Martin Kirschenbaum.
Love that.
That's his like production name that Lady Gaga actually gave him, which is kind of crazy.
Oh.
So pretty cool. Then he used
Honestly,
that on
I
a lot
can
of his
see
productions.
her naming him or like his production company that.
Yeah, for sure. This was released January 10th, 2009 as the third single of the album. It ended up not impacting radio in the US, which is why a lot of Americans don't really remember it, but it did peak at number 2 in Sweden.
Oh.
And it performed moderately well in other European countries where it was released as a single. And it ended up being certified 2 times platinum in Australia as well. So shout out.
Hell yeah.
It only received a gold certification in the US. This is very much a holdover from the 2000 style of pop, and it's surprising that this was a single, in my opinion. I feel like it could have been a Fergie or a Gwen Stefani song, but ultimately, I don't really return to this song that much. It is fun, though, in kind of a bubblegum poppy way, and honestly, the production is a lot better than I remember it being, even if it is something that's not really my style. I gave this one a 3, and I respect it being on here, and it's kind of cool that it was a single, even if it wasn't a single in the US. But I don't know. I could take it or leave it. 3.
The strength of this song to me speaks to like Lady Gaga's ability to write good music in multiple styles because this was my second favorite song.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Going into this, I was like, wow, the sound is very, very different. And I do prefer the other sound, which is why this was not rated the same as Paparazzi. But I also just kept returning to this song too, to the point that this is a 4.5.
Damn.
Yeah, this is my second favorite.
I got to tell you, this song has been stuck in my head like the whole week that I've been listening to this album, and it might go up to a 3.5. Maybe. We'll see.
I think it should.
I do want to say that somehow I forgot to mention that your 5 is the first 5 of this season.
That's right.
For Paparazzi.
I didn't
You
realize.
beat me out, even giving a 5.
Hell yeah.
For both movies and music. So that's pretty cool. I was thinking about how next week I might have a 5 on the album. And I was like, I'm going to be the first one to have a 5. But you beat me.
I first put down a 4.5 for Paparazzi. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I think it deserves one of my rare music 5s.
Yeah, that's good. I support. I love when you give out a 5.
Yeah.
Especially in music.
I'm honestly on a mission to give out more 5s this season to music, not to movies.
I was going to say
to
19
movies, I want to be more balanced.
Yeah.
I'm going to be more balanced for movies, I think, because they didn't just shove in all my favorites.
I feel like you've heard a lot of different styles of music now too, so you know more of what you like. So it's easier to find those 5s.
Oh, so true. I feel like there are some songs that we heard last season that I would give 5s now that I didn't give 5s back then. So
we got track number 6, Beautiful, Dirty, Rich, written by Lady Gaga and Rob Fusari, produced by Rob Fusari. It was released as a promotional single on September 16th, 2008, and it also has a music video. And it is certified gold in the United States, as many of her songs are. This never played on the radio. This wasn't like a real single, just a promotional single, and still fucking gold. It's like insane.
That's crazy.
Her impact during this time is just like force of nature.
Yeah.
This is another case of a song being better than I remembered from the last time I listened to this album. And it's another case of a song being lyrically quite simple, but musically very interesting. We don't make these types of songs anymore since there's such a focus placed on lyrics over everything else, which is kind of why dance pop has been suffering so much recently, and partly why I hate recession pop as a term for present music as well. This is also an example of the transitional period music between teen pop and post-teen pop that I was talking about with Paparazzi, but it's fascinating that it's after the revolutionary sound that it was leading to, kind of like I mentioned before. I forgot that I wrote that down and then just said that note under a different song. Anyway, I gave this song a 3. It could be a 3.5 as well, but I'm going to stick with a 3 right now because there's some other songs I'm like, these are solidly 3.5s.
Yeah, I mean, I wish the name of the song was Me in Real Life.
Same.
Yeah.
I was going to say that as I introduced the song, and then I decided I'll let you have that one.
You should have. Oh, thank you. You knew I would say it. This song, I do like this song. It definitely does not feel as rich as a lot of
Pun
the
intended.
best song, if you get what I mean. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, in terms of the sound of it, it feels a little bit more like one note, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And obviously it's still really well done. So this is definitely a step down. This is a 3.5. I thought about a 3, but there are some songs that I think are really just kind of like to me.
Yeah.
That this song is not. Like, this song is still enjoyable and I will still listen to it. And it is definitely stronger than quite a few songs. So it's solidly at a 3.5. I will say, after the next song, we are kind of going to enter a little bit of a lull, let's just say, for lack of a better way of saying it.
I agree, except for one song, but I'll talk about that in a little
Same.
bit. Okay.
Same.
Interesting.
And I want to see if we have the same song. But we agree on the start of that area after this next song.
After the title track number 7, The Fame.
That's right.
Written by Cherry Cherry Boom Boom and Lady Gaga and produced by Cherry Cherry Boom Boom. I'm going to say that as many times. I wrote down Martin Kirschenbaum in here and I was like, nah, I changed it all because he or she says Cherry Cherry Boom Boom on a lot of these songs. I was like, it's just so fun to say.
I really like how much they say Cherry Cherry Boom Boom.
Yeah, it's said at least 3 times on the album, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Which is like more than I was expecting, you know?
And hey, we should say it at least that many times, even though we've already said it that many times.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. This is the best 2000s teen pop sounding song on here. I love the production. I love the energy on this one. This is a solid 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, this just kind of continues the strong run that was kind of interrupted by Beautiful Dirty Rich, although that's still a really good song. Yeah, ironically, this song is kind of the inverse of Poker Face, where I think the verses are weaker than the chorus.
I agree.
Yeah, and the chorus is magical in this song. I think it's close to Paparazzi for me in terms of how strong the chorus is. This is a strong 4. I could see this going up to 4.5 in the future, though, honestly.
Hell yeah.
Which
nice.
I was kind of surprised by. I felt like some of the bigger singles would not be as high as they were, just because I'd maybe gotten tired of them or something. I don't know.
There is quite a bit of consistency on this album. Like,
it's kind of a case with it's kind of a similar case with Sufjan Stevens, where you could say the indie effect is kind of here, although I personally wouldn't really say that. But even if it is, it's like consistent on a higher level.
I was going to ask you about that because I honestly didn't really notice much Kesha effect until the last like few songs. And then I was kind of like, okay.
I think it's more present in the second half.
For sure.
I mean, to me, I think a part of that is the fact that I really like this style and it just really works for me. I could see a lot of the first half being kind of Kesha effecty for someone that maybe doesn't like it as much.
You could argue that even for us right now, because it is very consistent, you know?
Yeah,
but
that's true. It is very consistent. I feel like it's consistent and yet distinct, though.
I agree. I think the whole album's got a lot of very different songs.
I agree.
Except for track number 8, Money Honey, written by Bilal the Chef Haji. I don't know if that's how you say his name. My apologies. Lady Gaga and Red One, produced by Red One. This is where I said I am obsessed with songs that sound like something that should have been on the radio, but have one major problem in that they sound way too similar to another song.
Yeah.
This is literally Just Dance 2, and it's not bad, but it's not as good. And then I also wrote down that it reminds me of CanCon music from this era, which is like Canadian music that would, because in Canada they have to play a certain percentage of their music on the radio from Canadian artists.
Right.
And this sounds like, what if we made Just Dance by Lady Gaga, but for a Canadian artist that sounds similar? I don't know why, but that was just that like popped in my head. I gave this one a 3. It's not bad, but like I wouldn't listen to it when Just Dance exists, you know?
I mean, yeah, this song is a 3.5 for me. It's definitely not to the level of Just Dance or, you know, any of the previous songs, including Beautiful, Dirty, Rich.
I agree.
But it's still enjoyable. I think that for me, the main thing between my 3s and 3.5s in this specific album was that like the 3.5s I would keep on if they came on the radio. And the 3s I would maybe be like, I just don't really feel like it. I'd have to be in a very specific headspace for it. Even though I still don't think they're bad, I just think they're kind of But yeah, 3.5.
Track number 9, Starstruck, featuring Space Cowboy and Flo Rida. Written by Cherry Cherry Boom Boom, Flo Rida, Lady Gaga, and Space Cowboy. And produced by Cherry Cherry Boom Boom and Space Cowboy. We've definitely said it more than 5 times.
You said it 5 times in that one thing.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. I got 3 words for you. Track 9, Theory.
Yep.
I predicted this song would be your least favorite song. This is my favorite song.
Wow.
There are 4 verses here. 2 of them are the same. There's a bridge that's also the intro and 4 choruses. Plus we get a rap verse, which is so of the time. You just gotta love it.
Yeah.
It's a great example of knowing what you have, where it's like, this is a good chorus that's simple. We're going to do it 4 times. Might as well. This is a 4.5. I love this song. I listen to it all the time when I first started going to CSUN, because for some reason I like went back to this album. I was like, holy shit.
You were starstruck by the other students.
Literally. This is amazing. 4.5. Favorite song. Do you hate it? Is it your least favorite?
Before, when I said, I wonder if we're going to have the same favorite song, I should have remembered Track 9 Theory. And I should have remembered the theory of your favorite song being my least favorite, because this is my 1-3 on this album. This is my least favorite.
Let's go.
Yeah. The thing is, like, theoretically, I feel like it really should work for me. In some ways, it kind of reminded me of like the production style of Charlie XCX, which obviously should work for me. Like,
yeah,
this should have worked better for me, but it just feels very one note compared to the other songs. It's again fine, but it just does not really catch me. It does not feel to the level of any of the other songs on this album. So it's just a 3, which, you know, coming from me is not a bad thing, obviously. I just kind of wish it was a little stronger, that's all. But I'm very happy that's a 4.5 for you and your favorite song on the album.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think there was really any debate going into this album. And I even predicted this last week after we stopped recording, and I was like, oh, this is a pretty good album. It is a little like front loaded, and I was like, oh, but you're going to hate Starstruck. And I said that, and I don't know if you remember that.
I did not.
I remember saying that specifically to you, and then I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, because then he's going to think that it's my favorite song, which it is.
Yeah, no, you knew that I was not going to remember that.
I didn't know for sure, but I was betting on that you wouldn't. But yeah, Track 9 Theory, finally, we're here. We are so back.
It's so back. Finally, we needed a win for Track 9 Theory, honestly.
We really did. After Reverse Track 9 Theory 2 weeks in a row. Track number 10, Boys, Boys, Boys. Written by Lady Gaga and Red One. Produced by Red One. This was going to be the 6th single from the album, but then Gaga recorded Bad Romance, and Interscope pretty much knew it was a hit, and they canceled the release of Boys, Boys, Boys. This is another transitional teen pop to post-teen pop song, but I don't think it's as strong as some of the others that are on here. Love it when you call me legs. In the morning, buy me eggs. I don't know what that is, but that is a lyric from here, so shout out. This is a 3. I feel like it's good, but it's not amazing, and I can see why when Interscope heard Bad Romance, they were like, fuck it, we're doing that. You're making a deluxe version of this album, which is also actually a separate album, which is the Fame Monster, which we did not do here because it's long. It's like 22 songs total, I think, with this and the Fame Monster. we will do the Fate Monster at another point, and also because I think there's 3 singles from there that are like incredibly successful. And I also thought we were going to talk a lot about this album, and we're probably going to talk just as much about the Fame Monster, so we might as well split them up and do it in the future. So that's something to look forward to as well, because there's more great songs from this kind of same era, which is also, I don't know, the Fame Monster is also like an era between the Fame and Born This Way. But yeah, anyway, that's a long way of saying this song is a 3. What did you think?
I mean, I do feel like this song feels closer to me to the strength of the first half. Even then, it's still a 3.5. Like, it's still not to the same level, but I still do enjoy it a lot. I think this also might be, don't quote me on this, but this might be one of Jennifer's favorite songs, at least from this album. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. 3.5.
Track number 11, Paper Gangsta, written by Lady Gaga and Red One, produced by Red One. If I had a nickel for every time we've talked about the Logic stock piano plugin on a main Pop Girls song on this podcast, I would have 2 nickels. Very strange. Lord was the other one. I was not expecting to hear this, and I kind of don't remember this song, weirdly.
2 goats using the same stock sound.
Oh yeah, and I've used it hundreds of times. Don't worry.
That's because you're also a goat.
Oh, thank you. I was hoping.
You are already my main pop girl.
Ooh. This song is about Gaga's experience being signed to Island Def Jam Records for 2 months in 2006.
Nice.
L.A. Reid decided to drop her because he wasn't impressed with the one demo that she made for the label. And he, my friends, is dumb as hell for that.
Yep.
This is another case of something that I find funny, which is artists getting fucked over by labels and then signing to a label that's related to the original one that they were fucked over by. Interscope and Island Def Jam are both divisions of Universal Music, so I don't really know how that works, but there are like a lot of different people inside of a label that like makes it a better place to be. And finally, I feel like this is where you really start to notice the Maroon 5 effect on this album. That's what I wrote. This one's a 2.5. I don't care for this song very much.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I heard this, I really did not like it.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised with myself as well for not picking this as your least favorite song, because this seems like something you would not like.
Yeah, I mean, when I came back to it, I was like, okay, this is not that bad. It kind of grew on me a little bit, which I was surprised. I also want to say, I said that I had 1-3 before when I was talking about Starstruck. I was wrong because I forgot about the song.
Okay.
This is my second 3. I'm sorry. I have 2 3s.
Are you certain?
Sorry, wait. The next song is... No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I was going to say.
I'm kidding.
I don't know.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think I probably would prefer this to Starstruck, but it is kind of just like, Like it's... I barely remember anything about this song, even though it did grow on me. Originally, this was probably going to be a 2.5.
That's fair. It's 2.5 for me.
Yeah. So, this is kind of the low point of the album, in my opinion, honestly.
Track number 12. Brown Eyes, written by Lady Gaga and Rob Fusari, produced by Rob Fusari, with additional production by Lady Gaga. This is a low point for me. This song kind of sucks. This is a 2. This is my least favorite.
It has a piano, though. It's piano.
I don't like it.
I mean, yeah, this song, it feels very different.
It is, yeah.
It's like a very different sound. I think partially with the piano being there, but it still works for me. It's not as strong as, let's say, the classic Gaga style that the kind of the first half introduces. It's definitely not as strong as that, but I think what got me was that I like how the production, like the music production, develops in this song. I like where it goes. It starts off kind of simple and then it develops into something more. And that actually worked for me to the point that this is a 3.5. I do like this song. Again, definitely not to the same level, but I feel like there's maybe something a little bit more here, which I like. I also did think you would like this more just because of the piano, but I've been wrong about that multiple times at this point. So maybe I should just stop assuming that, but I will not stop assuming that because I don't care.
That's fair, because it is hard. The piano is kind of hit or miss for me because I hate piano ballads, but I love piano in songs.
You would hate Billy Joel.
So I do.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, there's a reason we don't have him on the schedule. I don't really, I know what I think of him.
Okay, I do want to listen to one album of his.
We should do one. I think Uptown Girl is a good song.
Well, I was going to
But-
say the album that I personally want to do is, I don't remember what the name of the album is, even though ironically I was talking about the album yesterday with friend of the podcast, Dante. But I want to listen. Oh, it's The Stranger. It's The Stranger. That's what it is. I want to listen to
Yeah,
The
that's his
Stranger.
big one.
Yeah.
I feel like I dislike a few songs from there,
Yeah.
but that's for a future episode.
We'll talk about that at that point. We'll see.
But first, we got to talk about the thing that I always say to David. Track number 13, I Like It Rough. Written by Cherry Cherry Boom Boom and Lady Gaga. Produced by Cherry Cherry Boom Boom. I don't know how many times I've said this at this point.
You also say that phrase to like the 5 people that come over for the orgies. Anyways,
Whoa.
I know, just making stuff up. Sorry.
David's getting unhinged here. I was much more hinged, and I said that I think this could be a Britney Spears song.
It was season 2. It was season 2.
It truly is season 2. We're going crazy. We're bigger and better than ever. Also, I got to shout out the bridge on this song. I love a rhythmic cadence for vocals that you can build upon. And this is a rare example of a teen pop song that I genuinely like.
That's exciting.
Which speaks to the talent of both Lady Gaga and Cherry Cherry Boom Boom.
Okay, we're saying it like 40 times or something.
Yeah, at least.
Honestly, at this point.
I rated this song a 3.5. I feel like this is a good one, and this is one of the songs in this like second half of the album once the Maroon 5 effect has set in, where I'm kind of like, yeah, this is good. This is one I remember along with Starstruck. But Starstruck, like, oh my God, that takes the cake. That's a great song. What did you think about this one, though?
I mean, I think the fact that it is in the style of made it work for me.
Oh,
Like in that
Okay,
Same thing.
yeah. Well,
Same thing.
I don't know. I thought you were trying to hint at saying Cherry Cherry Boom Boom so you wouldn't have to say it. But
no.
yeah. Okay,
No,
good.
I'll
So
say
you do
Cherry
like
Cherry
it rough.
Boom Boom.
Nice.
I do like it rough every night. This is a 4.
Nice.
I feel like this is the standout song of the second half for me, which I kind of needed because I was like, come on, get back to the strength of the first half, please. That being said, still like, my rating for the second half is like my good ratings for some albums that we've listened to. So
Yeah, exactly.
there we go.
I'm glad you liked Cherry Cherry Boom Boom's production on here.
Cherry Cherry Boom Boom makes me like it rough.
Nice. That's, yeah. Track 14,
Yeah.
the final track, Summer Boy. Written by Brian Kierulf, Josh Schwartz, and Lady Gaga. And produced by Brian and Josh. That's their name. It's the two of them. I wrote one thing about this song. It's a fine song, and I'm probably never listening to it again. It's a 2.5. I feel like this is not a great way to end the album. I feel like I Like It Rough would have been a better end to the album.
I agree with that. This song, weirdly enough, kind of felt like it wasn't really a Lady Gaga style in some ways.
I agree.
It felt like a more typical style of pop to me than her very specific style, or at least her specific style in this album. So yeah, it kind of was like a weird spot to end the album. Of course, if you're on Spotify, you'll see that there's another song after this,
Yes.
which we did not listen to.
I will be bringing up the elephant in the room in just a
Yes.
second. But I did want to tell you that Brian and Josh worked with Britney Spears a lot. So that could be part of what you're feeling.
I could totally see that. Kind of that late 90s, early 2000s style of pop.
Teen pop.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could totally see that. Yeah. Which, I mean, the 2 other songs that were in that style did work for me in this album, obviously. But I feel like this is kind of the weakest out of those 3 songs. It's a 3.5. Not bad, but still not to the level of the first half of this album. And not to the level of I Like It Rough. I guess I'm not a summer boy.
That's okay. You live in LA every season's summer.
That's true.
So like it doesn't.
That's true. That's a good
you're
point.
an all year. You're a year round boy,
Thank you.
and I mean it. The the
Cherry
elephant
Cherry
in the
Bomb
room.
Bomb.
Boom boom. Oh my god.
Boom, boom. Oh, sorry.
Wow. That's
I
crazy.
messed up.
Disco Heaven is
Whoops.
track number 15. We didn't listen to it, and I chose not to listen to it for one reason, which is this is not a song that was on the album until sometime after 2023, the last time I listened to this album, because the last time I listened to this album, it ended with Summer Boy. And I don't know why this song was added. There are 3 songs on the deluxe edition. Disco Heaven is the only one that's on streaming. There's 2 additional ones that aren't on streaming for no apparent reason. I don't know why. There's also 2 versions of the Fame Monster. There's one that is the Fame Monster plus the Fame, and then there's one version that is the Fame Monster plus the Fame plus just Disco Heaven and not the other 2 bonus songs. And I don't know why that is.
So weird.
So we did not listen to this. I don't know if I've ever heard this in my life, and I wasn't about to find out now because it's not part of the main album. So my apologies to any Disco Heaven truthers out there. You can listen to it, but
yeah, who cares?
Exactly. Who cares? Now, now we reach
getting edgy in this season 2.
It's crazy. We're maxing out on everything in season 2.
And we're only in the 2nd episode or 3rd episode.
Third episode.
3rd? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm totally lost.
Cherry, cherry, boom, boom. My final thoughts on the album is that I don't think, and I have never thought, that Lady Gaga is an album artist. She fits more into the mold of a singles artist, but even then, she feels more like a larger-than-life performance artist.
Yeah.
It's a super rare breed, and I feel like the only other artists we've done that are in that like mold are Prince and Madonna. And even then, I feel like Prince is kind of an album artist still because he still made these albums. Madonna's a singles artist, but also she's like a performer and she's got this like huge personality that like part of the appeal is that she's also like a person, a pop star outside of just the music. I ended up giving this album a 3.5 because I do think that this is a good album. I feel like it gets weaker as it goes on.
Yeah.
Except for kind of 2 songs in the later half of the album. But I feel like it's still quite solid. And as far as like revolutionizing pop music, like I feel like this is a great place to start if you want to hear 2010s pop music. And we start in 2008, you know? So yeah, 3.5 for me. I enjoyed this album, and I feel like it's very solid. I don't know if this is Lady Gaga's best album. I'd have to listen to all of them again, but it could be, potentially. Although I feel like the Fame Monster is shorter and more consistent. So we'll see, though.
I mean, based off the way that I feel about some songs from the Fame Monster and from Born This Way, I do think I would like those even more than I like the Fame. Also, a lot of people say that the 2010s technically started in terms of culture started in 2008.
I agree with this.
And I completely agree, and I think that music is a big part of it.
And
also movies, because that's when the first Iron Man came out, and like the Marvel like crazy whatever started.
True.
I also wanted to say I've never seen Lady Gaga live. Jennifer has.
I haven't either, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do actually want to go and see her live. That would be awesome.
We definitely, I feel like we all should.
Yeah, all together.
Someday.
When you were talking about like the type of artist that she is, that made me think that I feel like she is probably one of the few artists who is not only as good when she's live as like when she's recorded, but is probably better. And I think that speaks to like the type of performer that she is. The Fame surprised me. I did think it was going to be a 3.5 because we kind of talked about how, you know, it's the first album. Yes, there are the singles, but maybe the rest is not going to be as strong, which the second half was not as strong. But the first half was so strong for me. I mean, hey, I got a 5 in here. That it's a 4. This is a 4 for me, and we're
nice.
I mean, 3rd episode in, we're already with a 4 album. We're doing awesome this year,
and we're gonna ruin it next week. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. Super low scores, 0s for both of us.
Well, I'm glad you like this, and I'm kind of glad I ended up changing my prediction for your score kind of to a 4. I do have 2 last questions for you before we get into this movie that I know everyone is itching to talk about.
Yes,
I want to ask you. Will you add any of these songs to playlists, and will you return to this album as a whole?
I will definitely add at least like 3 or 4 of these songs to playlists. Obviously, Paparazzi and A. What is it?
A. Nothing else I can say.
Cherry Boom Boom.
Cherry Boom Boom.
Oh, Cherry.
Oh my God.
Cherry Boom.
That is one that starts with Cherry Boom Boom as well. So
that's true.
You got to lock that into your mind now.
I got to. I won't though. You know me.
I know.
And then I will probably be coming back to this album for the generational run, I think. So
this is a very easy question to answer because it's going to be one word. Do you consider yourself a fan of this artist now?
I am a little monster.
Hell yeah. Shout out Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Shout out pop music. I love pop
Shout
music.
out.
My favorite genre ever. Shout out to just kind of 2008 for revolutionizing media and kind of ushering in the era that might have been one of the best times to grow up in.
Before everything went to shit.
Exactly, like it currently is. So anybody, recession pop, please, actually, let's do this. Let's make a comeback of recession pop. I challenge everyone listening to this podcast who makes music to make a good pop song because no one's doing it right now, and we really desperately need it.
And then you send it to us, and we will release it under the Uncultured Pop Culture record label.
Yes, which I will be the A&R of. So you know what I like, everybody. No key changes, please.
And I will be the mascot with my white hair.
Ooh, white. Okay, I like this. Not even Conan anymore.
Yeah, it's not even good anymore. I will be like, and this is a very deep cut, I will be like Timothy Oliphant from Alien Earth with his white hair in that movie or that show.
I will accept that. I would have said Ted Danson or Steve Martin, maybe.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Honestly, Steve Martin, because he's had hair, like white hair for like 40 years now.
Exactly.
50 years, 60 years. Yeah.
But we don't want to talk about Steve Martin anymore. We want to talk about a movie that David has somehow never seen.
Yeah, I know. We're talking about High School Musical, in case you couldn't tell from the title.
Let's go.
And I'm predicting that you're going to give this a 3.5.
Okay.
Or should I say 3? What? Okay, wait. What did he give Mamma Mia?
That was a 3.
Okay, I'm predicting that you're going to give this a 3.
Okay.
Unless you're nostalgic. You know what? Screw it. 3. I'm putting it. I'm not messing with anymore.
Okay.
I got
like
caught
this
up in all the
commitment.
scores and the cherry boom booms. I said it right.
Yes, you did. Very nice.
The moment we stop talking about the album, I get it right. But anyways, we are talking about High School Musical, and this is my first time seeing it. With that in mind, I gotta throw it to you because we have actually talked about this. Have you seen this movie before? And how many times?
Probably the most of any movie.
That's
Maybe.
wild to me.
Maybe High School Musical 2 I've seen more. I think that actually probably is true because I feel like this one, I mean, I don't know, not to spoil it. High School Musical 2 is better though, and I feel like most people will say that.
You really were a Disney Channel child.
I was, yes. And I want to ask you, before we even get into this, did you watch this movie with Jennifer like I told you to do?
I did not because I did not have time to watch it with her. I'm sorry.
My God.
I know.
Did you watch this alone?
Yes.
Damn. I feel like
I
this
did
is a
not have
movie
the
where you want a like audience. You want a partner to watch it with because it's fun.
I mean, I still had fun. Not to spoil things. ...
Dot.
We'll get there. We will talk about this movie. Don't worry. First, let's talk about the log line. A popular high school athlete and an academically gifted girl get roles in the school musical and develop a friendship that threatens East High's social order.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. I feel like it works. It feels kind of strange, but I guess it is kind of true. Yeah.
It's like, at first you're like, wait, no. And then you're like, well, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, oh, okay.
It's fine. It's not too bad.
Now, the genre of this film is a musical television film. Because, yes, this is a TV movie.
I was wondering if teen film would be in there or not.
No.
But
ironically, no, even though I feel like it should have been. They just swapped out teen with television or TV.
This is the first TV movie we've done, correct?
Yeah. I was going to say, we chose well because we needed to do a TV movie at some point. Now, this movie is directed by Kenny Ortega, who we actually talked about. This is a connection to our Dirty Dancing episode.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yes, the choreographer.
Exactly right, which I did not see anyone doing lifts in this movie. So I was like, hey, man, why didn't you add any lifts like Dirty Dancing? Anyways.
There was some good dancing, though.
Yeah, that's true. Now, the movie is produced by Don Shine, S-C-H-A-I-N. Apologies. And it's written by Peter Borsicini. I can't spell. B-A-R-O.
It's fine. I believe you.
You believe me. It's something like that. Sorry, man. You can Google it if you really want to see. The cinematography is by Gordon Lonsdale. It's edited by Seth Flaum. F-L-A-U-M. What's up with all these names? I'm sorry.
I like that you're spelling them too.
And
We've kind of just done this now, and it's like this is really bad, and it's certainly wrong.
I got to throw it out to the audience. I got to help them figure out how to pronounce this for themselves, you know? And the music is by David Lawrence. The movie was distributed by Disney Channel, of course, and it's rated TVG because it is a TV movie. Yeah.
Nice.
And it stars, of course, Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, Ashley Tisdale, Corbin Bleu, amongst many others. The idea first came up when Peter Borsicini, apologies if I'm mispronouncing that, the screenwriter, decided that he wanted to write a movie that his 9-year-old daughter could enjoy. So, he came up with the idea for High School Musical and approached Disney Channel with it. And they were very excited because they had recently released a musical episode of their sitcom, Even Steven, and that was a big success. So because of that, they were like, okay, we want to do more musicals. We're going to greenlight this. Have you ever seen Even Steven? Because I
have not, actually.
Yeah, I was not a Disney Channel kid, so I'd never watched it
before
either.
my time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like late 90s, early 2000s. I think that show was around there. And so they moved into casting. Now, a lot of the execs at Disney Channel wanted Casey Stell for the role of Gabriella. Apology if I'm mispronouncing. And she actually auditioned and was cast. I think she had been in other stuff for Disney, or at least for Disney Channel before. But she had to drop out because the filming conflicted with the 5th season of her show, Degrassi: The Next Generation, which I think might have been a Disney Channel show. I don't know.
It was not. It was Canadian.
Oh, okay.
And that's where Drake came from, actually.
Oh, they should have just canceled that show. I'm sorry. But anyways, instead, Vanessa Hudgens got the role. She competed with 12 other girls, singing and dancing all day to get it, which that sounds so tiring. Now, someone that auditioned for the role of Troy was Drew Seeley. And even though he did not get the role, when Efron did get the role, he got brought on to provide the singing. Because I don't know if you knew this, but Zac Efron does not sing like 95% of the songs in this movie because the parts had been written for, I think, a higher voice than his. So he only sings the first 4 lines of Start of Something New, the first sentence of Breaking Free, and during the scene on the balcony. So those are the only times where he's singing with his voice. The rest, it's Drew Seeley singing. For the sequels, because they had obviously cast him for the first film, they just wrote everything for his deeper voice. And because that he sang all the roles or all the parts himself for the other films. Which I will say, I was kind of like, is that his voice when I was watching this film? I was not sure until I looked into the background.
Yes, that is kind of like an open secret around this movie.
Yes.
That Zac Efron did not sing in it. And I didn't actually know if he could sing. So it is kind of interesting knowing that he did sing later.
He definitely can. I mean, he sung in the sequels and in other films. I think it was just specifically for this film. Now, Corbin Bleu almost auditioned for Ryan Evans, but then he saw Lucas Grabeel, apologies again, dancing, and he was like, okay, I cannot dance like that. So he was like, you know what, I'll go for Chad, and he got that role. As for Lucas, he and Ashley French auditioned together at the second callback.
Ashley French, ooh.
Yes. Should I keep it Ashley Tisdale for continuity?
I saw that when I was looking at Letterboxd, and I was like, who the fuck is Ashley French?
I am gonna keep it Ashley Tisdale for continuity.
You can do whatever you feel like.
Sometimes. We'll see. But yeah, they kind of established their dynamic during that callback. And Lucas said that Tisdale actually gave him direction during the audition in classic Sharpay manner, which tracks. I can see that. They filmed during the summer of 2005, and it lasted 24 days, which is not that long considering that they're doing choreography and stuff. Kind of wild. And they used the real life high school East High in Salt Lake City, which is wild to me. They were just like, oh, perfect.
I was wondering if you were going to mention that because you know the connection to why Olivia Rodrigo is famous.
Really? Well, what is it?
High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Oh, which we will talk about.
Kind of spin-off of this.
Yeah.
And that was shot at that same high school in Utah, which exists in our universe
Right.
and not the universe of the film, because it's like the film existed and they shot it at that school and now they're doing a production of High School Musical as the musical.
Wow, that's very meta.
And it's very good as well, I must say. Like that's the only like modern Disney Channel show where I was like, wow, this like actually kind of holds up as like an actual TV show.
It's like the return to form or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Shout out
it's kinda
Olivia
wild.
Rodrigo too.
Shout out. It was kind of hard filming there though, because they had to work around actual classes. So that made it kind of difficult.
Even in the summer, what are the Mormons doing?
I don't know. Well, I could see it being like, oh, if they were filming at the end of August and
True,
classes
yeah.
started, or maybe like beginning of June. So it might have been something like that. Which, hey, you never know. Efron also trained for 3 hours a day playing basketball to look authentic. And he and Vanessa Hudgens, of course, dated both on and off screen during the production of this film, and eventually split in 2010, as I'm sure many people in our audience know. Now, can you guess who did not get along during filming?
I'm going to go with Ashley Tisdale and Zac Efron.
It was Ashley Tisdale and Lucas Grabeel. Sorry.
Seriously?
They did not get along for a while. They had difficulty working together. Eventually, it seems like they kind of got to know each other better and became friends. But it seems like it wasn't like they were right away friends from the beginning or right away really close, which is interesting to me because you cannot see that on screen.
Yeah, I was going to say it kind of fits their dynamic though, where they like feel like they kind of hate each other, but they also don't because they're the only person that like they trust.
That is a good point.
It's a very fun dynamic.
I will say Grabeel also he's confirmed this, that he asked director Kenny Ortega about his character's sexuality, and they agreed that Ryan should be gay. But of course, Disney being Disney, they didn't allow them to directly address it. So it's kind of maybe more hinted at. I don't know if they bring it up in the sequels or anything like that.
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've watched them, but that was kind of also something that we learned later as well.
Yeah, that came out like more recently, I believe. And he has actually said that like in universe, Ryan has a crush on Zeke in the film.
I can see that.
Totally. Now, my last note before we talk about the release, because honestly, there's not that much information. The producers of the film had trouble coming up with a name. They did not like their working title name, and they kept on trying to come up with a new one. And eventually, when they were in post-production, they just gave up and they were like, you know what? Let's just use our working title, which was High School Musical.
Oh, damn. That was the working title.
That was the
Wow.
working title. And they were like, we don't like this. This is stupid. And they just never came up with anything better.
It's
which
iconic.
is how I feel.
like it because it's so simple. It tells you exactly what you should expect.
And that's how I feel when I'm writing, when I name my movie like movie about this and it's terrible.
David's Movie 1.
Exactly. The movie came out obviously January 20th, 2006, which is such a weird time to release this, right?
I mean, yeah, it's on TV, so I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, that is weird.
It just feels weird to me, but doesn't matter. It was a big success.
That's also a fast turnaround.
Yeah.
Shot in the summer of 2005 and it came out in January of 2006.
for
Crazy.
a musical. Like it's kind of wild.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Although it's only an hour 37 minutes, like it's not that long. So I guess that helped. But yeah, it became Disney Channel's most successful TV movie ever. It had 7.7 million viewers on its premiere broadcast. That's bigger than like some of the biggest TV shows nowadays. That's wild.
Oh yeah, that's bigger than like almost all of them.
Yeah. True.
And these are also like Disney Channel's like a kids channel,
Yeah.
you know? It's like these are
It's
kids and
wild.
teens tuning into that.
It was broken.
pretty cool.
It was crazy enough. It was broken the same year by a movie I've never heard about. A movie called The Cheetah Girls 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. I thought you
watch
would
it.
probably know it, but
I don't care really about the Cheetah Girls that much, but yeah.
they got 8.3 million viewers.
Oh wow.
Before High School Musical broke the record again and remains Disney Channel's highest rated film. I wonder if you can guess how many viewers it got for its premiere.
Wait, which High School Musical 2?
Yeah, it broke the record again and became Disney Channel's highest rated film to this
I'm going
day.
like 15 million.
17.2.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Crazy. Yeah. Now, the first one that we're actually talking about got generally positive reviews if they maybe went on the more negative side a little bit. It was like mixed to positive maybe. And of course, the whole cast got shot into stardom, especially Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, and Ashley Tisdale. They would, of course, all return for 2 sequels, High School Musical 2 and High School Musical 3 senior year, which was actually released in theaters. And then they also made a straight-to-DVD spin-off called Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure with Ashley Tisdale. Did you know about this?
I did know about this, but I've never watched it. I think it was past my time.
Yeah, I mean, it came out, I think, in the late 2010s, so it was definitely past our time, I feel like. Of course, High School Musical 2 became Disney Channel's biggest film, like I said before. And High School Musical 3 senior year, it had a budget of $30 million, and it made $252 million at the box office.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a giant success. It's crazy.
I did not know it was that big.
I did not think it would be that high, honestly. It's wild to me.
I mean, yeah, this was a phenomenon. This is back when we used to make media for like teens and tweens, which apparently don't exist anymore.
Yeah, they're just out in the ether. Now they're just watching TikTok all day.
Yeah, you're a kid at age 12 and then you're an adult at age 13, I guess is how it goes now.
Yeah, that's how it is. Kind of going back to what you were saying, though. They eventually made a spin-off series called High School Musical, the series. And it lasted for 4 seasons from 2019 to 2023. Got positive reviews and it was a hit, which honestly I was surprised by. I feel like typically those don't work.
No, absolutely not. But they took more of a like older teen approach to it where it was like...
Yeah, which I think is the right way to go.
Absolutely. It's like this is a show that is for the people who grew up watching High School Musical in the present day. You know, like it's for our age. You know, 2019, I would have been 18 when it came out. Like that's the perfect age for it to be. Because it's like you're just out of high school, or maybe you're in high school. Now you get to deal with like high school drama.
It was actually so popular, the first film at least. Well, all the films, but the first one was so popular that Michael Jackson spoke to Zac Efron on the phone and told him that he liked his work in the film.
That's crazy.
And Efron cried. Yeah, I know. Especially around this time, considering all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
It's like a wild, yeah.
I mean, yeah, suddenly my comment about being an adult at 13 is...
Yeah. Interesting. And yeah, I mean, this film, it's still popular to this day. It's a childhood staple for, you know, most of the Gen Z generation who grew up with Disney Channel and grew up with this movie on like VHS tapes and DVDs. It's probably one of the most like culturally relevant films for our generation. And speaking to that point, considering that you grew up with this movie, how does this movie hold up now that you're in your 20s?
That's a good question because there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Now that I'm older, I'm noticing new things in here. But one thing that I didn't really remember is that this movie is actually quite funny. And like some of the comedy still holds up. Like I don't often think of Disney Channel comedy as aging well or necessarily even being that funny in the moment.
Yeah.
But there's some moments in here where I laughed out loud. And I feel like if there's one thing they did correctly is they made almost every character their own person and they felt like pretty real to that person. Also, another thing I have to shout out, every single shot Chad is holding a basketball in this movie. I never noticed that. It is hilarious to me. And
I didn't notice that the first time around.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
It.
I feel like the performances in here toe the line of being like true, but also like understanding the like campiness of the movie in that it's not like the most serious thing ever, but it also feels like it could be kind of real. I enjoyed most of the performances except for one.
Which one?
And this was one that I did not remember when I was younger being not very good. That was Vanessa Hudgens. I feel like she doesn't give a very good performance in this movie. I feel like I don't remember it as much in being a problem in season 2. Like I feel like she got better as an actor, but I was kind of like taken out of some of her scenes because I was like, I don't know.
I feel like that happened to me, but not with her, actually with Zac Efron.
Interesting.
For some reason, like I just felt like he was always like visibly acting to me, and it kind of took me out of it, if you get what I mean.
I could see that a little bit. Yeah.
Which
I feel like
I think is
he
in
understood the
style.
assignment a little bit more.
I could see that. I feel like it was in style with like the tone of the film.
Yes.
So I think it does work. But I don't know, it took me a while to get used to it and to the overall like the tone of the film.
The tone is very unique, and it's something that I don't
it is
fully
very unique.
remember being like this when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when you're younger, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's like a fun high school movie. But then as you get older, it's like, there's almost a little bit of like satire in here too. Like, it feels very like played up. And I feel like some of that is because of the musical element of it.
Yeah. Well, I will say, kind of going back to the cast, I do think that the supporting cast is much stronger than the two leads, in my opinion.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. I think like they do like good work. They hold it up enough to like where it does work. But I think like the comedy and the more laugh out loud moments come from the supporting characters and the supporting performances, which, you know, I feel like they also don't have to deal with like portraying a love story and have more of the comedy. So that does probably help. But it definitely felt like they maybe understood the assignment a little bit better, or just were able to bring a little bit more. Now, we also, this is not our first musical that we've seen on the podcast.
Correct.
We've seen Mamma Mia. And I know we've only seen one, so it's kind of hard to compare, but how does this compare to the other musical films that we've watched, or that you've seen like outside of the podcast too? Because I know you've seen some other ones.
Because I kind of hate musicals, honestly, which is weird because I like music a lot. I just feel like I don't like the theatricalness, I guess, of them all the time.
I feel like most musicals are not very good.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I agree.
I kind of agree with that. Like, I think there are good musicals out there, but I think it almost takes like extra work to make a musical good, in my opinion.
100% agree. I feel like comparing this to Mamma Mia, I mean, I'll just ruin my score right now. I gave them the same score. I gave them both a 3.
Nice. I was right.
Yes. I know. I was waiting for you to like lock in on the 3, and I was like, ooh, you might go 3.5. This is a 3. I feel like it's good, and I had the kind of the same reactions that I did with Mamma Mia, where I was like, the music doesn't feel like it's getting in the way necessarily. Like it feels like it's telling the story. And that's what I want out of a musical, because a lot of the musicals that I have watched, and what makes a musical bad, is when it's like we have a story going on and now we're going to take 3 minutes to do a song and dance break that has nothing to do with anything else that's happening, or very little to do with anything else that's happening. And I feel like the story kind of moves throughout the songs here. And it's also a weird thing, much like Mamma Mia, where it's like, are the songs happening in real life in the movie? Like, I can't tell. And I kind of like that more than it being like, this is a musical and the songs aren't happening, or like, this is a musical and the songs are happening. It's more fun to be in this guessing game of like, maybe like this is happening in universe, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting comparison, because I feel like in a lot of ways, both High School Musical and Mamma Mia are two movies that will either work for you or not. Like, there's no in between.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say my score yet, but to me, I think Mamma Mia does work quite a lot more. I gave that a 3.5, I remember. And I think it does work quite a lot more. And I don't know if it's like the fact that the tone just works better. Like, I think High School Musical pulls off the tone that it's trying to go for. I just don't know if it's the tone that I am most interested in compared to something like Mamma Mia, which already like has a very distinct like idiosyncratic tone that I think will already not work for a lot of people either. I think they're both very similar that way, but it's like a slight tweak in between that tone for both of them. I will say, I watched, and I did not bring up the fact that I watched this film for my, you know, what I watched this week, because I wanted to talk about it here. I watched La La Land. Now, it's a very controversial film for a lot of people, I feel like, because a lot of people talk about how it's overrated. And I kind of went into that thinking, okay, I probably won't like it as much as like, all the diehard fans will. It's actually really good. And I think that movie got hurt by people overhyping it, which resulted in people like being let down and overhating it.
Also the Oscars thing.
Also, the Oscars thing, yes.
That didn't
Yes.
do any favors to
That
it.
definitely did not. But I think it's actually a really good film and a really good musical. And I think part of that is the way that Damien Chazelle like films it and directs it, because it is a beautiful film. But I think it works well with the music. And the other big reason is the music itself. It is very like musically type of music, but I think it works well in the film. And I gotta say, going from La La Land to High School Musical was kind of like whiplash because, and this might be controversial, but I think the weakest part of High School Musical is the music for me. Like listening to it after La La Land, I was like, no. Because I think that honestly, if this was not a musical and it was just like a comedy film, like a teen comedy, it would have worked a lot better for me, which I guess I'll throw on my score. It's a 2.5.
Oh, wow. I was fully thinking this would be a 3 and you'd like it less than Mamma Mia, but
So
yeah.
I kind of went back and forth between a 3 and a 2.5. I feel like if the music was stronger, it would be a 3. I think that's the only reason why it's not a 3. Because I do agree, like, it is quite funny at parts. And, like, yeah, it's very simple, but it's also not trying to be anything more than it is. So I think, like, as a film, it does work. I just did not find any of the music interesting, to be honest.
That's fair. I feel like the music is definitely not my style, and it's not something that I'd like return to outside of the movie, you know? But
Yeah.
I don't know. For musicals, if I'm compelled by other aspects of the film, I'm willing to overlook the music a little bit. I don't know, though. I feel like, to me, Vanessa Hudgens kind of was worse than the music. Sorry. I don't think that's the case in other movies, but I feel like her performance just took me out of it way more than the music did, even if the music isn't my style. But I would also like to say, you did not grow up with this. I feel like there is definitely
That's another big point.
A part of me that is like, I mean, I can't like separate this from my childhood, you know? Like I watched this a lot. We had this on DVD.
I think that's like another very, very valid thing to take into consideration where, you know, nostalgia will affect you. And I think that, you know, like for me, I don't care if you adore a terrible movie because of nostalgia. I think that's a good thing because I think everyone needs like a connection with something that is so genuine that it supersedes anything. I'm not calling this a bad movie and your like of it like bad, by the way. I'm just saying that like
I don't even like it that
using
much.
that
I
as
mean,
an
I gave it a
example.
3. Like that's with the nostalgia factor in there too. It's not like I'm like, this is amazing.
No, but like my point is like I'm also not saying like my point is to show that I do think that nostalgia is important and a good part of your life to an extent, obviously.
I feel like this is similar to the reaction that you had with Tron.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I know this isn't like an amazing, or well, Tron Legacy, I should say, because that's a movie we watched on the podcast. Where you're like, I know this isn't like a perfect movie or anything, but like it means a lot to me, and that's kind of how I feel about this. Like this is probably, I don't know, this and Mamma Mia could both be a 2.5 or a 3, but I feel like I'm going to give them a 3 because I know what musicals are, and I know that I don't like a lot of them, and these are both examples of ones that I'm like, you know, they're pretty good. They're not like something I'm going to return to that much, but I appreciate what they did.
And that's kind of all the questions I had, to be honest. Was there anything you wanted to add to our discussion?
Yes, I got to shout out 2 things. Corbin Bleu and Monique Coleman.
Yes,
They
are
steal the
very
show.
good.
I mean, Ashley Tisdale, Lucas Grabeel, like they're amazing, but I feel like the unsung heroes are Corbin Bleu and Monique Coleman because they're the right-hand man to the main 2 people.
Well, and interestingly enough, in a way, they kind of hold a lot more of the dramatic side of things in the film.
True, yeah.
Because like I feel like Ashley Tisdale and Lucas Grabeel, they are kind of like the comedic backbone of the film, while Corbin Bleu and Monique, last name?
Coleman.
Monique Coleman kind of have more of the dramatic work where they're trying to like separate Zac Efron and oh my god, I'm forgetting
Vanessa
every single
Hudgens.
name.
It's
Thank you.
okay.
And Vanessa Hudgens, like they do more of the heavy lifting story wise, I guess.
I definitely see that. Although I do want to say also, I think they're both good comedically in the movie too. They have their moments.
Yes, they are
for
also
sure.
funny. Yeah. Also, shout out to the adult actors too.
Honestly,
'cause
yeah,
they're
I didn't
great in this.
remember them being this good.
Honestly,
well.
one of my favorite parts is the drama teachers. Like she is great.
Yeah, I was hoping you would like her, and I figured you would. I do have one
Yeah,
other
reminded
thing.
me of high school.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's for being a musical that exists in this like weird space of like campiness. There are a lot of like moments in here where it's like, yeah, this is like definitely something that like happened in high school. Also, I gotta say, the fashion of this time, oh my God.
I know.
The 2000s.
This is so 2000s.
It's so 2000s. It's also so Disney Channel, but also genuinely people were dressing like that. And I kind of was too. Like, you know, this was a moment. And this brings me to the thing that I wrote here. I said, I feel like this is a solid movie, especially for a Disney Channel original movie. And it's so sad that kids these days don't have their own culture like we did when we were growing up.
True.
I think we as a society have failed, especially the thing that I'm going to point to the most is the tween years, because when you're that age, it's like, I'm not an adult. Well, obviously.
Right.
I'm not an adult. I'm also not a teenager, but I'm not a kid. I'm something else. And that's what Disney Channel and Disney XD and Nickelodeon.
Tell me about
and
it.
Honestly, Cartoon Network too, kind of like all contributed to this culture of like kids had their own thing that was cool still, that wasn't like an adult thing. And not to like separate them from adults, but more just like giving kids something to talk about, you know, some sort of like cultural touch point.
And I mean, to that point, like even in the mid 2010s, tweens still had that. I remember, you know, like the way that High School Musical is for you, that's how, for instance, Gravity Falls is to me.
Oh my God, Gravity Falls is amazing.
Which is honestly
that's not even on the same level.
Well, yeah, that's on a whole different level. That's honestly, in my opinion, the best animated kids show ever made.
True, and it might be the best Disney Channel show ever made.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Like, not even maybe. That's 100% for me.
That might be one of the like 5 best comedies ever made.
I think that's
like,
honestly
genuinely.
I think that's honestly one of the 5 best like shows ever made.
I could see that too.
Straight up. Yeah.
No, genuinely, it's amazing.
That's like an example of something that we had as tweens.
Yes.
That tweens just don't have. Like,
I mean, that premiered in 2012. We were 11.
Yeah.
Like, that's the perfect
literally,
age.
That's the perfect. It was like that and shows. I mean, I know for me personally, we were talking about that. We were talking about the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show. We were talking about Over the Garden Wall. Like, there was so much there. And now it's just kind of like gone.
Yeah, and it's very sad because I feel like part of it's cultural, because we as a society have now pushed kids, 13-year-olds, to be like, you should look like you're an adult, which is insane.
Well, and you should just be on social media all day and be on your laptop all day.
Right, and that's kind of the problem is like when you're on social media, it's like you are fed this idea that you need to be simultaneously older than you are and younger than you are, because you're never perfect the way you are. And that's a whole other thing that we can get into. Maybe that's a bonus episode, you know,
honestly,
talking about
that would be a very
social
fun
media
discussion, because that is pop culture.
Exactly. And social media and what it's done to the kid, you know, because I am definitely glad that I was not born kind of any later than I was, you know.
I think I was born like the latest I could have been, without being like messed up.
Exactly.
And I will say a lot does depend on the parents too.
True.
But
I would say like 2005 is kind of the cutoff for that, where it's like,
true.
that's about it. And then you get into having like a phone or an iPad when you were pretty young still.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a problem. But getting back to my original point is there's that failure of, you know, social media for kids, but then it's also the Hollywood failure of saying, you know, we've kind of moved on from the idea that kids need their own media, and they almost like surrendered to it too early, because I feel like they started giving up like when we were in high school, and it's like, that's too early. Kids, not every kid still had social media. Like nowadays, most kids, like when you get a phone, you get social media. But back then it was like, there's still a lot of parents that are like, you got to wait until you're in high school to have social media.
And I feel like a big part of it was when streaming came around, a lot of older shows like Gravity Falls became popular with the younger generations that didn't necessarily grow up with it. And I do think a lot of, you know, Hollywood companies saw that and were like, okay, we don't have to make anything new.
Exactly.
Because those are popular. But it's like, no, like, for instance, like I love that, you know, 11-year-old kids can watch Gravity Falls now. I think that's great. especially because like, hey, like if I have kids, I can share that with them, and I would love to share that with them. But that's different than having something that is entirely your generation's. And I think that's what's very much missing.
And I don't know where this idea kind of came from. I don't know who was the executive that we should be like killing for coming up with this idea.
Yeah.
that like different groups of people don't need their own media, because they do. Like that's just kind of like a simple fact. Like, I'm part of many different groups in my life, just existing as a person. And it's nice to have media that caters to that specific group. It's a different version of myself. It's a different side of myself that, maybe I don't share, or I'm not as comfortable with, or maybe I am. And it's just something that not everyone can relate to. And I feel like when you're young as well, having media that reflects you as a person, like seeing yourself on screen, even if it's not like, a white 11-year-old from the Midwest, it's like just seeing people your age is like, it's kind of life-changing in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a problem even more than it ever has been. The ultimate thing that I'd like people to remember from this episode is let's make movies and TV shows for kids that reflect them and their lives. This did a great job of being a high school movie in the mid to late 2000s for people that age, but also for people younger to be like, that's what high school is going to be like when I'm older, Gives you something to look forward to, that maybe one day you'll have your Troy and Gabriella moment.
And we are having ours right now.
Exactly. It's the end of the episode, guys. And it's time for you to follow us on Instagram. I can't put it any other way. You need to go on there right now. Open up Instagram at Uncultured Pop Culture, because we post what we're watching and listening to next week. It's up there right now when you're listening to this episode.
You can literally go and see
the wonderful movie that David has chosen for me that he knows I won't like, and the wonderful album that I have chosen for David that I know he won't like.
And hey, if you want to complain to us directly, to our email at upcpod@gmail.com. And if you want to complain to everyone, including us, you can also comment and rate both on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can also give us a little rating if you really want to let people know your thoughts.
Which should be 5 stars, obviously.
Yes. That's the only thing we'll accept.
Otherwise, you're dead to us.
Exactly.
Remember, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your enemies, and tell any elder Gen Z member that you've ever known about this episode, because I can guarantee that they have grown up with at least one of these things, if not both.
That's right.
Follow us on Letterboxd and rate your music. That's in our link tree, which is on our Instagram, which you are definitely on right now, following us directly. And I think that's about it.
I think that's about it, aside from Cherry Cherry Boom Boom.
Oh, true. Very good point. And with that, we will see you next week.